Voxprajna.
What does intersex mean? Intersex is a term used to describe a variety of conditions in which a person is born with reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't fit the typical definitions of female or male. This can involve variations in chromosomes, gonads, i.e., ovaries or testes, hormone levels, internal reproductive organs, and/or external genitalia. It's important to understand that being intersex is about biological characteristics and is distinct from a person's gender identity or sexual orientation. Here are some key aspects of being intersex. Biological diversity. Intersex conditions are a natural part of human biological diversity. They can result from genetic, hormonal, or anatomical variations. Examples include conditions like Klinefelter syndrome, androgen insensitivity syndrome, congenital adrenal hyperplasia, and many others. Variability in conditions. Intersex traits vary greatly. Some intersex variations are apparent at birth, while others may not become apparent until puberty or even later in life. In some cases, a person might live their entire life without knowing they have intersex traits unless they receive genetic testing or encounter related health issues. Medical and ethical issues. Historically, infants born with atypical sex characteristics were often subjected to immediate surgery to make their bodies conform to typical male or female standards. However, there has been growing recognition of the ethical problems with this approach. Many intersex individuals and advocacy groups argue for the right to decide for themselves about any medical interventions, rather than having irreversible surgeries performed when they are too young to consent. Challenges and misunderstandings. Intersex people often face significant challenges and misunderstandings. This can include legal issues, like obtaining identification documents that reflect their true sex, social and emotional challenges, and medical or health-related issues. Distinction from transgender. It's important to distinguish intersex from transgender. Being intersex is about biological sex characteristics, whereas being transgender is related to gender identity. While intersex people may face some similar social and legal issues as transgender people, their experiences and identities are distinct. Advocacy and awareness. Intersex activists and organizations work to raise awareness, challenge stigma, and advocate for the human rights of intersex individuals, including the right to bodily autonomy and integrity. Here are some examples of intersex conditions. Klinefelter syndrome. Individuals typically have 2 X chromosomes and 1 Y chromosome. They may have male sex characteristics, but can also have reduced testosterone production, less muscular bodies, less facial and body hair, and enlarged breast tissue. Turner syndrome. Individuals typically have 1 X chromosome instead of 2 or 1 X and 1 Y chromosome. They often have female sex characteristics, but may have underdeveloped ovaries, leading to reduced levels of estrogen and issues with menstrual periods and fertility. Androgen insensitivity syndrome. Individuals with androgen insensitivity syndrome have XY chromosomes, but their bodies are partially or completely unable to respond to certain male sex hormones. As a result, they may have mostly female sex characteristics or a mix of male and female characteristics. Congenital adrenal hyperplasia. This is a group of inherited disorders of the adrenal glands. In the most common form, the body makes an excess of androgens, i.e., male sex hormones. Females with congenital adrenal hyperplasia may be born with ambiguous genitalia, and males may appear normal at birth, but develop more masculine characteristics prematurely. 5-alpha reductase deficiency. Individuals with this condition are genetically male, but are unable to convert testosterone into dihydrotestosterone, which is crucial for the development of male external genitalia. As a result, They may be born with ambiguous genitalia or predominantly female genitalia, and then develop more typically male characteristics during puberty. Ovotesticular disorder of sex development. Individuals with this condition have both ovarian and testicular tissue. They might have a mix of male and female genitalia, and they can have a variety of chromosomal configurations, including XX, XY, or a combination. Partial androgen insensitivity syndrome. In this condition, the body's cells are partially sensitive to androgens. Individuals with partial androgen insensitivity syndrome may have a mix of male and female physical traits, and their genitalia can vary from predominantly female to predominantly male. Mosaic Genetics. This is a condition where some cells have XX chromosomes and others have XY. This can result in a variety of physical traits and can affect genital development. Swyer syndrome, complete gonadal dysgenesis. Individuals have an XY chromosome pattern, typically associated with males, but their gonads do not develop properly and they do not produce typical male amounts of testosterone. They often have female external genitalia and internal reproductive structures. In summary, it's important to note that intersex is a broad term and these conditions can vary greatly in how they affect individuals, both physically and in terms of their health needs. Intersex is a term where a person's anatomical, chromosomal, or hormonal characteristics don't fit typical definitions of male or female. Additionally, attitudes and approaches to intersex conditions have evolved over time, with a growing emphasis on respecting the rights and dignity of intersex individuals, including decisions about if and when to pursue any medical interventions.
Boxsprachner.